Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a black screen video for you. This black screen video will hopefully send you to sleep. I'm going to be doing a softly spoken book reading, and the book that I've chosen to read a couple of pages from is the South Wales Ghost Stories book. These ghost stories come from South Wales, which is in the UK. There's a great selection of ghosts in the UK and a lot of history. I will be reading from this book, which is called South Wales Ghost Stories. Prepare to be frightened by these terrible tales. This book is put together by Bradwell Books, and I will put a link in the description if you'd like to purchase the book and read some more of the stories that are in there. I will just be reading a selection of the stories, not all of them, and so I'd highly recommend you picking the book up yourself if you enjoy the stories or you enjoy reading about ghosts. Let's begin. South Wales has a dark heritage, its ghostly heritage. Almost every one of its dozens of ruined castles, for example, are said to be haunted. Then there are its numerous haunted mansions, pubs, and hotels. Ghosts may be encountered out of doors, roads, lanes, fields, hillsides, caves, even the beaches may boast a ghost or two. Some of these spooks are of great antiquity, dating back to the Dark Ages, perhaps even into prehistory. Others are delightfully modern. Whatever their origin, many seem to be as active now as they've ever been. You have a better chance of seeing or hearing a ghost in South Wales than most places. Haunted castles. South Wales is sometimes referred to as the land of castles because of the great number of medieval fortresses strung out across its landscape. Most date from the 11th and 12th centuries. Many of them are haunted. Caerphilly. The magnificent ruin of Caerphilly Castle, with its distinctive leaning tower, is the haunt of the Green Lady, a woman from the medieval period dressed, as her name suggests, in green. One account suggests she is a grotesque creature, a small woman with an outlandishly large head and goggle eyes, which glow a fierce red. Another weird creature, the Gwrach y Rhibyn, used to haunt marshy ground beneath the castle. Cardiff Castle. Cardiff Castle, which is open to the public, is haunted by the second Marquis of Bute, who died suddenly in 1848 after a dinner party. The ghost of a young woman in a long, trailing gown has also been seen, but her identity is a mystery. On the drive leading up to the castle, a phantom coach watch has both been seen and heard. It is believed to haunt when a member of the House of Hastings dies. The Grey Lady is another famous ghost of Cardiff. She has been seen walking past the castle, down to the bridge over the river, where she turns and waves. It is thought she is the apparition of a woman waving to a loved one who may have been imprisoned in the castle in its feudal days. Castle Coch. Castle Coch, the Red Castle, is perched in a spectacular wooded location north of Cardiff and looks more like a French chateau than a British fortress. This is because it was rebuilt in the 19th century, long after the original medieval castle had become a ruin. Tradition has it that a fabulous treasure was secreted away in the bowels of the original fortress, and that is guarded by huge, fierce, supernatural eagles. During the Civil War, more valuables were hidden at Castle Coch, this time by a nobleman loyal to King Charles I. He was killed in the Civil War before he had time to recover his money, and he still haunts the place. A sad, elderly man in the rig-out of a cavalier. Both hoards remain undiscovered to this day. Manorbier. In his book, Pembrokeshire Folk Tales, author Brian John reveals an interesting encounter with an apparition within the impressive ruins of Manorbier Castle. The incident took place during the First World War, when soldiers were stationed on the castle's battlement to keep watch for the enemy vessels along the coast. Usually 2 men were on duty at any one time, but when a soldier fell ill one night, it took some time for a replacement to be detailed. When the substitute made his way up to the castle, he was surprised to find no one on duty. The other man had vanished. A search was made for him, and he was eventually found unconscious on the village green. He had apparently jumped over a stream, leaving his rifle behind, and then passed out. When he came to, the unfortunate soldier had a very strange story to tell. He said that after his fellow watchman had been taken ill, he had continued to patrol the battlements alone and saw someone approaching. It was a woman, all dressed in white. He challenged her, but still she came on. There was something so sinister about her that he finally fired a shot, but the bullet went straight through. Then panic took over, and the frightened soldier ran pell-mell for the safety of the village. It was presumed that in his panic he had dropped his rifle in jumping the stream and then fainted from the shock. Oystermouth. Another white lady haunts this fortress on Gower, near Swansea. She is the ghost of a beautiful and gracious Irish woman who had been captured and forcibly married to the Norman baron, then in control of Oystermouth, the Earl Neville. The pious and unhappy lady prayed that she be free forever from the bonds of marriage, and her prayer was answered. The next morning she was found dead, like a saint, with hands folded on her breast. Since then, Oystermouth Castle has been haunted by the White Lady. Some say she is to be seen in her former chamber above the gatehouse, others that she appears in the dungeon. Frights at the museum. Museums are repositories not only of historic artifacts, but also of memories. It should come as no surprise to learn that so many are believed to be haunted. This is certainly true of Swansea Museum. In 2010, a local journalist, Richard Thomas, made a particular study of the Swansea Museum ghosts, gleaning interesting paranormal experiences from members of staff. He wrote up his report for Paranormal Magazine, a publication that was being edited by the author of this book. Richard learned that several employees at the museum had glimpsed a dark, cloaked figure on the main staircase. On one occasion, witness Catherine Perry saw it run up a flight of stairs leading to the so-called Cabinet of Curiosity, a room which seems to be the focus of the ghostly goings-on. Cold spots and a presence in the Cabinet of Curiosity's gallery have frequently been reported by visitors. Working alone on a new exhibition, one staff member was disturbed by a lot of noise, tapping and banging, coming from the corner of the room. In the museum's collection in the Landor district of Swansea, there was another spooky experience where loud whistling was heard in the empty storage area. The Duke of Wellington. The mysterious entity haunting the Duke of Wellington in Old Market Street, Neath, is a ghost with attitude and has been known to get violent. For reasons seemingly now forgotten, the spook has been nicknamed the Captain and is rarely seen, although he did make one notable exception in 1993 when he turned up as a man-sized shape on a video recording which was then broadcast UK-wide on a daytime TV show. Neath historian Robert King has learnt of two remarkable incidents involving the Captain. The Duke of Wellington is a popular live music venue, but one night the ghost apparently objected to the noise, or to the local band's singer, because the microphone stand suddenly reared up and struck him a blow on his head. The startled singer and audience then watched in amazement as the metal stand neatly replaced itself. Rather more serious was the occasion when a young man at the bar, on hearing that the pub was haunted, scoffed at the very idea of ghosts. Shortly afterwards, he made a visit to the gents and hurriedly returned, his face bleeding. Something invisible had lashed out at him. "Something hit me, but there was nothing in the toilet," he said. "Something just hit me twice, but there was no sound." One can only assume the unfortunate young man was not so sceptical Pontardawe Inn. This interesting old inn is situated in a little village tucked away in a valley near Swansea. 2 drovers' routes cross at Pontardawe, and there has probably been an inn here for many, many centuries. Nearby, there is a most unusual feature, an engraving of a witch scratched under the arch of the bridge over the River Dowie. The bridge was constructed in the 18th century, but no one knows when the carving was made, nor why. But it certainly hints at mysterious forces at work in this deep, secluded valley. Spooky goings-on are commonplace at the Pontardawe Inn, and on the whole, they are typical of those reported by staff at other haunted pubs. For example, the rumble of beer kegs being moved around in the cellar has not infrequently been heard, even though the cellar is empty at this time and the kegs are always undisturbed. Pub ghosts are attracted to glasses too. The Pontardawe spook likes to hurl glasses from the shelves so that they land with some force on the stone flags of the bar. However, they do not smash as they should. Instead, they are made to spin round and round before rattling to a halt. In 2008, the South Wales Paranormal Research Group learnt from the landlord that on just one occasion an apparition was seen in the pub, possibly the entity that has been causing all the trouble. He described it as a white figure, approximately the height of a small child. He had looked up from some work he was engaged in to see it apparently watching him. On his looking up, however, it immediately made its exit by walking straight through the table and then vanishing through the wall. I hope you've enjoyed a few stories from the South Wales Ghost Stories book, published by Bradwell Books. If you've enjoyed these stories, I would recommend purchasing the book for yourself, and I will put the link in the description. There are certainly a lot more ghost stories to be read and heard from South Wales, as there's so much history to be found in the region and really throughout the whole of the UK. And this was just a